Hard work or luck? Hard work or luck? Well, luck or no luck, you need to work hard. You need to be the best at what you can do, to your abilities, your faculties. You need to learn all you can learn. Your mind, your body, your spirit should be the best. Should be, especially when you're young. When you get older, you kind of start running into limitations. That's what's happening to me at this point in my life. All the use and abuse over the years, my body's starting to break down. And that's fine. I mean, that's what happens when you get old. You're not physically able to do the things that you used to do because your body ages. It doesn't, repair itself the way it used to be. It takes longer to heal. It breaks easier. And that's okay. But when you're young and you running at your peak performance, you should be doing everything within your power, to maintain and run at that peak performance. You should be working as hard as you can because, that's when you get ahead. That's when you establish yourself. Then once you get older, then you've got all that behind you. And you have the knowledge and the experience. And then you can use more of your mind and less of your body because you already know it and you've already done it. You've been there, done that, you got the t-shirt. So yes, hard work has got a lot to do with your success, with your station in life, with where you're at, in your job, in your relation, even in relationships. You gotta, there's hard work involved in that. Some people might not think so, but there's work involved in that. Relationships ain't easy, man. That's why so many of them fail, because a lot of people just ain't willing to give it the effort. As soon as things start to go south, they just like, man, screw this, I'm out. They just give up on stuff. And they give up on people. Which, means like, they may or may not have been committed in the first place. That's why I say you need to vet any female that you're with, especially if you plan on having any kind of, long-term relationship, or, should you decide to get married. Should you decide to do that, you need to vet that person. Find out as much as you can about them and their background. Is this person going to be somebody who's going to quit on you? Who's going to, bail as soon as things start to get hard, as soon as they start to get rocky? Because we all know that life has its ups and downs. We all know that. What's the old saying? You don't get to be, a masterful sailor or an expert sailor by sailing smooth seas. How does he get to be a masterful sailor? By sailing rough seas. By being able to navigate and adapt and overcome and negotiate that rough sea. So there's work. Yes, work counts. It counts. Don't think it don't. Work matters. There's work involved in it. Now, I know, but there are some people that are just born into stuff. I understand that. How did Bill Gates get all his money? Is he just that big of a damn genius? Well, he is a genius. I mean, I guess he scores that high on his IQ. But he come from a wealthy family and went to a high, a prestigious school and had access to computers in the day when nobody had access to computers. I didn't see a computer until I got to high school. And he's way older than I am. He got me by 10 years or more. So he had access to computers when nobody did. Not even most adults. So that's part of his good fortune. This is where we're getting into the luck kind of part of it. Born from wealthy parents, prestigious high school, access to computers, and he was at the right time in the right place. Those things happen too. There are lots of musicians, like your Eddie Van Halens and your Stevie Ray Vaughns and lots of other musicians that make it to the big time. They put in the hard work. They practice, 5, 6, 8 hours a day. They practiced and practiced and practiced. But they're not the only ones. Lots of people did. Lots of people. But they happened to be in the right place at the right time to get discovered, to be seen by the right people, heard by the right people. They put in the work, They got their bands together. They practiced. They rehearsed. They did a lot of gigs. They honed their skills. They honed their talents. And then when the time come, they had that little bit of luck, that little bit of happenstance, where they get seen, they get heard, and then somebody decides to move on that, They're like, hey, these guys are good, they're talented, and they see an opportunity. Most of the time they see an opportunity where they can make money. They're not trying to do the bands necessarily any favors. But yeah, they have talent and they can use that talent and they can make money from that talent. Of course, they're going to get, the band is going to, make money unless they sign, some kind of rotten deal, which some of them do. Ask those guys from Quiet Riot back in the day. I'm dating myself with all these early 80s bands, right? They sign shitty deals and they get shitty money. Everybody's getting rich but them. And they're doing the hard work, but they ain't getting no payoff. But then, again, they signed a crappy deal. So there is some luck. There is some happenstance. The stars have to align sometimes. There are some players in the NFL that are outstanding players, outstanding quarterbacks, running backs, what have you. They were great in college, and then you see them get to the NFL, and then they don't seem to quite pan out. They did all the hard work. They put in the time, the effort, and they don't seem to quite pan out. It ain't because they have off-field activities like some of them. They get in the NFL and they get paid all that money and then they start acting a fool. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the guys that, they're taking care of their business. And you wonder, why didn't this guy ever pan out? Well, sometimes they have injuries. They get an injury. Or they got a head coach that, for whatever reason, don't like them. That used to happen to me in the service. It's like, wasn't but one or maybe two first sergeants that I ever had when I was in the service even gave a crap about me. A couple of them liked me, but the rest of them, for whatever reason, I wasn't their pet. And they didn't like me for whatever reason. So I had to fight for everything that I had. Even when I had it coming, I still had to fight for it. And sometimes, they get on the wrong team, they get the wrong coach. And that coach is running a different system than what they're used to. It doesn't line up with their talents, or the coach is trying to make them do something that they're not really that talented to do. So they don't, it doesn't benefit them and it doesn't benefit the team. So he's just rotten. He ain't no good. Well, it's not that, because you can see where one player moved from one team. Who is that quarterback now? Tannehill. He was in Miami. Everybody thought, oh, well, he's